Hello everybody and welcome. I'm No02. Thank you for watching this video. A quick little update here in Crossfire Legion, right? I'm still keeping my eyes on it. I have 4 of them. Because we know it's an early access, still not there as far as all the content goes. Still not there quite as the player population goes. I don't know if the player population will ever quite get there, but there's still people playing it. They just finished their first tournament. Got decent enough views, but nothing too wild, nothing too crazy. But they have announced, the dev team, that they're going to be trying to push for one major update-ish, one update per month, and starting with this month. So July 27th is this next update coming out. It's they have 2 dev blogs about it, pretty short dev blogs. We won't really even go through them because for the most part, multiplayer replays. We understand the game does have a replay system currently, but they're updating it, upgrading it. In fact, they even say here that they are looking forward to seeing us trading replays, analyzing your gameplay. So there possibly might be some sort of in-game functionality for it, or at least a very clear-cut way in which we can now send each other the replay file and load it into our own game and things like that. So which would be really, really cool for content creation and for the players that are still around playing the game, because obviously people who stick around and play the game tend to be pretty decent at the game. So if you enjoy the concept of the game and playing it and stuff like that, we'll look into possibly analyzing some gameplay replays. Campaign saves. Right now the campaign's not super balanced, so ironically this is going to help the campaign feel a little bit better because some missions are kind of ridiculous and a little buggy still. But having the ability to save and not have to just power through a mission from start to finish is going to, sit really well with a lot of you. So if you haven't been playing the campaign because you're waiting for saves, July 27th are here. You got them. Do the missions at your own pace. Concept, right? Pretty good. But here's the juicy bit. July 27th update. This is the other half of it. 3 new infantry for each, one for each of the factions. Mamba for Blacklist, Sniper for Global Risk, and for New Horizon they got the Satyr. And you got the Satyr, the Sniper. If you watched my campaign playthrough of it, you saw there's a lot of sniper action in the Global Risk campaign. I don't know if it's going to be super good, super viable. With that, I have to admit, I haven't really been keeping up to date with the current multiplayer status, the multiplayer meta. I don't know how well established it is. Usually, when there's so few people playing a game, metas are very fluid, just because there's not enough people learning things and discovering things, and metas move very slowly, and the meta's very loose. My prediction of the Sniper is not going to be a particularly strong unit. Anti-infantry unit. It'll serve its purpose. It might have some purpose as far as early game defense stuff, right? Some greed, or maybe some anti-aggression from your opponent, right? Like you can defend a little bit easier with the Sniper and some good micro. So there might be a strategy that uses the Sniper for early game defense, but other than that, I don't see the Sniper being a particularly good unit in the long term. Next we have the Mamba. An assault infantry equipped with a shotgun. Does extra damage versus infantry, but it has a ghost kit technology so that they can sneak into attack range. So they might be able to move and be invisible. The other Blacklist infantry that has the invisibility has to stand still to use it, which is still great. It's still one of the best infantry in the game right now, I think, as far as its versatility and what can be done with it. But Mamba sounds like another good possible choice. Sometimes too, this depends on what slots these take up. Like if the Sniper is in the number 1 slot for the barracks, then that might change its viability. Same with the Mamba. If the Mamba replaces, I think, the Lion, I'm a Blacklist, so I know the names for Blacklist for the most part. If the Mamba replaces the Lion, that might be kind of cool, where you sort of transition from the early game invisibility of the Bulldog into the Mamba, but we'll see how it goes. But this sounds like there might be some viability there, as well as potentially also transitioning from the leopards, so the sprinting, the running fast sprinters. I don't know all the names. I'm lying to you, but I like Blacklist, so Mamba sounds good. It might have some viability. Right now, I don't think the Lion really has any place in the game. Like, the Bulldog is just such a strong infantry that there's no reason to build into the Lion. And then the Satyr. This is super interesting. A lightly armored multi-purpose support unit that can project a protective barrier onto allies can be upgraded to modify the rate of fire any target, friend or foe. Interesting. But a kind of cool idea. I assume this will be in the number 2, the tier 2 slot for the barracks. But it's a support unit. I don't think it shoots. That's my assumption. It's in a caster. It's going to be a spellcaster. Sounds like it's got a protective matrix, like the Science Vessel and Terran and StarCraft, and can increase the rate of fire. So kind of cool. Sounds like you might, this sounds like, as far as all the infantry goes, infantry that might transition really well into the late game, the Satyr might be the best one at that, for sure. Because as the game goes on, and for the most part, each faction is going to be running at least one, like, AoE unit, one sort of, like, anti-mob deathball thing. Infantry is sort of, like, clumpy up, like, close range, clumpy up vehicles, and infantry sort of fall off as the game goes on. Just because your opponent will typically have some sort of anti-blob unit for the most part. But the Satyr might be able to transition really nicely, and this unit always will have a couple of them sprinkled throughout, maybe. So kind of cool, kind of really interesting that they have literally like a support unit in the tier 2. I guess Terran has a medic, right? But anyways, that's it for the update. New units, replay update, and campaign saves. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it, and I do hope to continue to keep my eyes on this game and potentially put out some content. And it just depends on how well the game does. Like I gotta balance a little bit how I direct my time. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you all in the future.